Great. So thank you so much, Chairman Cabral, members of the Joint Committee on State Administration Regulatory Oversight, and thank you so much for taking me out of turn. I am here to testify on the bill Senate 1979, an act establishing a jail and prison construction moratorium. I want to thank Senator Comerford for her leadership. I know the House bill filed by Representative Tyler, so I want to thank Representative Tyler for her leadership on this legislation. Just came from a very powerful prison moratorium rally led by formerly incarcerated women. Families for Justice is Healing. And I know, thanks to Representative Erica Eiderhaven, you're going to hear for currently incarcerated women at MCI Framingham throughout the course of today, which is incredibly important. I know that this committee reported out this bill out of committee last session. Of course, the legislature passed this 5-year moratorium. And I just want to say, as someone that serves as the Senate chair of the Criminal Justice Reform Caucus, alongside the House Chair, Representative Mary Keefe, this is a top priority bill for the caucus. And as someone that goes into many prisons, it's important to highlight that in my conversations both with incarcerated women and men, that there is not support for a new prison. Specifically to MCI Framingham, there's been this long-standing discussion about the condition of the prison at MCI Framingham, and I'm here to tell you from my conversations with these women, as well as formerly incarcerated women, there is not interest to build a new prison, which probably would cost hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, realistically. And instead, the idea is to decarcerate, through medical parole, through home confinement, through perhaps placing incarcerated women into a lower security facility and closing the outdated MCA Framingham prison. That is in my opinion, the movement of where the prison reform movement is headed. It is a waste of taxpayer money to even think about spending a dime on a new prison facility. And I want to be clear is that the legislation that passed last session, as well as the legislation before you this session, would allow for renovations to current facilities. So we recognize that often the healthcare units, some of the efforts that the DOC is making to provide more programming and support for incarcerated people, I get that need to improve that part of those facilities, but we should not be building a new prison, whether at MCA Framingham or any other DOC or county jail facility. I want to close and just say that I really do appreciate Governor Healey's comments shortly after she became our governor about pushing back on the idea of a new correctional facility. I appreciate those comments by her. I do think that the legislation before you is carefully crafted. I was disappointed that former Governor Baker vetoed this bill last session, so I think we have a unique opportunity to come together and, again, just think about those formerly incarcerated women and the incarcerated women you will hear from today. That's who we need to listen to, and we need to make this part of criminal justice reform and the general anti-racist economic justice agenda that I believe this legislation is firmly behind. Thank you so much for taking me out of turn.
Thank you very much, Senator.